Hello everybody and welcome to this video all about how Oxford University Press can help teachers to support parents with their children's phonics. My name is Elizabeth Blinkhorn and I work as part of the Primary Literacy Team, and this is my colleague.
Hello, I'm Mitch Cronick. I'm Senior Publisher on Read Write Inc. Phonics.
So the reason we're here today is, as I said, we're getting together to look at phonics and how we can support you as teachers to help your parents. So by the end of this little session, you'll have a wealth of ideas to go forward to help your children both at home and in the classroom. So Mitch, looking at it from the very beginning here, phonics can be quite a complicated subject and it can be quite difficult to communicate to parents. Yeah. So what are the basic things that is really important to communicate to parents about phonics?
I think one of the really obvious things is the fact that the children are learning the sounds, not the letter names. Absolutely. And how to pronounce the sounds and how to pronounce them as pure sounds, especially the consonant sounds, so that if you have a word like mat, you pronounce the sounds at as pure sounds without an intrusive at the end.
So what would happen if you put the on the end?
Well, if you've got that, you've got m-at-ta. You've got the word matter when they blend it. Obviously, it's a completely different word to mat. Mm-hmm. So by focusing on pure sounds, on pronouncing them as pure sounds, it's much easier for children to blend the sounds as words. And on Oxford OWL and on Ruth Misking training website and on Oxford OWL for Home, there are videos showing parents how to pronounce those sounds, so they could be used for parents' evenings. Okay,
and when we mention the website, don't worry, the details are going to be in the comments underneath, so you'll be able to find these links and these wonderful resources.
Yeah, another thing to mention is that some sounds are made up of 2, 3 or sometimes even 4 letters. I mean, that's really obvious for teachers, but not so obvious for parents. And there are My Speed Sounds books that we've produced in Read Write Inc. Phonics for children to take home once they've learned a sound. It's got the little picture mnemonic in, which the parent can use to prompt them if they can't remember the sound, but it sort of consolidates the learning in the classroom.
So what you're saying is that these little books, they take what's actually going on in the classroom and replicates it at home for the child to practice with their parents?
Yes, when they're learning their sounds. So we've got one for when they're learning set 1 sounds and another one for when they're learning the set 2 and 3 sounds.
Fantastic, that's great.
We've also got on Oxford OWL on the phonics subscription, we've just recently added reading at home booklets.
Oh wow!
Two. Okay. Again, one for set 1 for when they're learning set 1 speed sounds, and one for set 2 and 3 speed sounds. These can be printed out and given to parents to take home, and it's got advice in about learning the sounds, blending words, and what to do when children start reading the storybooks.
Fantastic.
And they're editable, so schools can add school logo or any particular information which is pertinent to their school.
Oh, that's excellent. So they can be customised to be part of your school portfolio for the parents.
And the reason we produce these is because a lot of schools we found were spending an awful lot of time making this sort of advice to send home, making booklets with this advice in, and we thought, well, this is a real time saver for teachers, so they can just print these out and give them to parents.
So if you're one of those teachers busily away making your own resources, stop. Somebody's done it for you already, and they're all there on the website, and you can just print them off.
Yes, there'll be a link, but if you just type into the search parent booklet, they'll come up.
Fantastic, that's excellent. So welcome to everyone who's just joined us. Mitch and I are sitting here having a chat about how Oxford University Press is supporting teachers to help parents to support their children in phonics. So
Well, Elizabeth, can I ask you something?
Yes, you can.
Because I know schools have fed back that it can be difficult to get parents to come in to the school to find out about phonics. They're resistant
Indeed.
to come to meetings sometimes. They find it maybe a bit daunting. Obviously, it's vitally important that parents come in and are informed about how their child is learning to read. You go into schools an awful lot and meet lots of teachers. Have you got any tips?
I have actually. I am very fortunate in that I get to meet teachers from all over the place, and teachers are very creative and they come up with wonderful ways of engaging parents. One of the best ones I heard was getting your children to perhaps perform a poem.
Yeah.
Because parents will always come into school to see their children perform. And at the end, you can just spend 5 minutes while they're all there, telling them perhaps about the importance of pure sounds.
Yes, you've got a captive audience then.
You've got a captive audience, they're not going anywhere. Another thing you could do is have perhaps a thematic craft afternoon, and parents would be quite happy to come in and do crafts with their children. And again, just catch them quickly for the 10 minutes here about the importance of phonics. Tea, coffee and cake will always encourage people.
Always goes down well, yes.
Always goes down well. Keep them informal and not daunting in any way. And the most important thing is that those parents actually come into school and engage with phonics, because it is such a crucial part of children's education.
Yeah.
So another thing that I've heard from teachers when I've been out and about is how concerned and anxious parents can get about the phonics test.
Well, first of all, it's not a test.
All right,
it's a phonics screening check.
Okay.
There is an awful lot of information that teachers could give parents about this. They don't really need to know that much. That it's a check, not a test. It's done at the end of year 1, and it takes 5 to 10 minutes. All this information has been sort of distilled onto Oxford Alpha Home, and there's a phonics blog. And I think my advice would be for teachers would be to send parents to that blog.
Excellent. So you're saying it's another time saver whereby parents can go, teachers can go online, and it's all been written there for them.
Absolutely.
Just to send out specifically for parents.
Yeah,
So
it explains about things like the nonsense words or the pseudo words, and just the basics that
so you're not overwhelming anyone.
Absolutely.
Excellent. So we've talked a lot about what can be done at home to support parents, to support children with their phonics. So what can we do in the classroom to help? What else have we got in the classroom we can help?
Well, in the classroom, obviously children are learning to read with phonically levelled books. I think it's vital that schools send home books which are at the same level.
So they're matched.
So they're matched, like the book bag books that we've produced, and so they're matched to the level of the book that the child is reading in the classroom.
Okay.
They've got parent notes on the inside front cover, and I think with the guidance on what to do with those books and the parent booklets, that's great. For parents, and a time saver. We've also got on the phonics subscription, we've produced a section called Story Time and Poetry Time, and it's for use in story time sessions, so classroom sessions rather than phonics sessions, and there are 6 classic traditional tales retold.
Fantastic.
Beautifully illustrated by people like Tony Ross, and 6 poems for reception and year 1, that's 6 for each year, and with videos showing the teachers how they could perform the poems, and
that's
there's
fantastic
teachers' notes
support.
with lots of activities. So all that sort of rich literature environment with stories and poetry.
Fantastic.
But what we've also done on that is we have provided a facility whereby you can print the stories or the poems off so that child can take that story which has now become familiar to them, or the rhyme which they've learned, and take it home, and the parent can read it aloud to them as a bedtime story.
Oh, that's really lovely.
And so it's linking the classroom and school, the classroom and home, and developing children's vocabulary, with the richness of vocabulary in those stories, and instilling a love of literature.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. So we've talked about a lot of issues here today. We've talked about how you can support parents really easily with things like the phonics screening check and pure sounds, and we've also talked a lot about the help in the classroom, and how to bring parents in to engage. You might be wondering where you can get this support from. The links will all be underneath, as I said, but just to summarise, we've got the wonderful Oxford Owl for home, and that's been written specifically for parents, and they can go and log on in there and find out lots of advice. There's videos on there, there's links, there's worksheets, there's support, all are geared around parents. We've also got the Read Writing Phonics subscription.
Yes.
And that's packed full of fantastic resources.
And packed full of resources for the phonics screening check as well as the homeschool links that we've talked about.
Perfect. Another rich source of information with really high quality resources is the Ruth Miskin training website.
Yes.
And I believe there's something on there for phonics screening.
Well, there is a phonics screening checklist, a list of sort of tasks to tick off to ensure that your school achieves phonics screening check success.
Fantastic.
There's also lots of parent videos on there under the parent tab as well, which you can direct parents to. Great stuff.
Excellent. And if you feel like getting out and about and actually seeing high quality phonics in action, we've got over 60 model schools in the UK.
Yeah, 60.
And these schools all practice really high quality, engaging phonics lessons. And we've opened the doors of 10 of them.
Yep.
And all on the same day, March the 19th. We've opened the doors and you are able to go along and see phonics actually being taught in a school, which I think would be really valuable and useful.
Yeah.
And
see Read Writing Phonics in action.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So that'll be on the 19th of March. And again, the details are down below if you want to have a little look and see where you can attend one of those days. So thank you very much for listening. Have a look in the comments below to find all the links to everything we've talked about. And we really look forward to you joining us next time. Thank you.